All right, so like I said, my name is Grace Giancola. I am the Director of Residence Life, and I will be running this information session for you today, and Morgan and Miguel will be monitoring the chat if anything comes through for that comes up that you want to ask. They will be happy to help you out. So just a little bit of an overview about what the next couple of weeks look like. So obviously today we have our information session. This Friday, lottery numbers will be distributed via email to all current students who are not graduating and commuter students who requested a lottery number. So I am working diligently on that list, and I'll explain a little bit more about what that means shortly. Also on Friday, we request that students who are working with the Office of Accessibility Services have their completed documentation in to Kate York to make sure that they have their housing accommodations in place, and we can give them priority in the housing selection process. And then also on Friday, our applications for all specialty housing are due, which is our gender affirming housing, pet friendly housing, honors housing, and multicultural, which I will also talk about shortly. The following week, the week of April 3rd, so the students who have been approved for any of the specialty housing or that receive housing accommodations will be placed. And our staff will be working with those students directly to make sure that they get the rooms that fit those accommodations, or that where they have applied for, will be working with those. So for example, we're doing a special selection process for the students in honors housing. And then the following week, the week of April 10th, the general housing lottery will be taking place online for both campuses. So the first 2 days, students are restricted to choosing a room on their home campus. So for example, if you already live in Troy, you will only be allowed to pick a room on the Troy campus those days. And on Thursday, the third day, you will be able to pick a room on the opposite campus. So if you're a Troy student right now that's looking to move to UH, you'll be able to do that on Thursday, but there's also some other ways that you might be able to do that on Tuesday or Wednesday, which I will talk about shortly. So good news on this front, the cost of living on campus has not changed from the past academic year. So for upper class students in Albany, University Heights is $3,900 per semester, which is a little bit more than Troy, but those suites have different accommodations, private bathrooms, air conditioning, private kitchen. They're more suite style. And then our standard residence halls in Troy are doubles, triples, and singles. So for doubles and triples, it's $3,215 per semester and $3,550 for a single per semester. So these have not increased from the current academic year. Just quickly, we'll go over what the housing options are. So, due to some occupancy numbers and in order to make some necessary repairs to some of our residence halls, we will have some changes to what housing options are available in Troy. But not to worry, there's more than enough space for everyone who wants to live on campus, even without those options. So your options in Albany as an upperclassman are the University Heights College Suites. And in Troy, we have German House, Manning Hall, MSG, also known as McMurray Spicer Gale House, and Wool House. So as you can see, we have single, double, triple, and suite occupancy. There are a limited number of true singles on the Troy campus, but we will not be permitting students to select a double or triple room as a single for the upcoming year. So during the room reservation process, you may select a space in a double or a triple room, but we're not able to guarantee that the other space will not be selected by another student. In UH, you do not need 4 roommates to select a suite, but in the event that you select a room in a suite alone or with 2 or 3 people, basically anything less than those 4 rooms, there's a chance that other students could select the other rooms within that suite. So pro tip from Res Life, make sure you have some backup plans. We really encourage you to have roommates in mind in the event that there are no single rooms left by the time your lottery number is activated. So to help you plan ahead, we will be hosting some awesome roommate mixers and building tours on each campus. We're giving you an opportunity to find a good roommate and get an idea of what rooms or buildings might be a good fit for you. So yesterday we held some open houses in MSG and Wool on the Troy campus. Tomorrow and Thursday, we'll be holding an open house at University Heights from 6 to 7 p.m. And then Friday, you'll have a chance to see German and Manning. So there will be residence life staff outside the buildings during those tours, but make sure to stop by if you want to take a look at some of the options in there. Like I said, we'll also be holding a roommate mixer on April 4th to help you find your perfect match. In Troy, this will be, so these are all next week. In Troy, this will be on April 4th from 5 to 6:30 in the Student Center. And in Albany, it will be in Freddy's from 6 to 7 p.m. also on that April 4th. Obviously, we are here at the information session today. I'll be having another one on Thursday, but I will likely be sharing the recording that we did today. And then on Tuesday, April 11th, like I said, the housing lottery will begin with lottery number 1. Morgan and Miguel, do you want to share a little bit about what to expect at the roommate mixer?
Yeah, I can definitely talk about the Troy campus a little bit. So we will be running this in kind of a vintage speed dating style session. So we will have 5 to 7 minute pairings during which I will shoot off a bunch of questions, some about personality, some about compatibility in housing. And after that, we will have a period so you can exchange information in case you do find someone who would be a good friend or a good match for a roommate.
Thanks, Morgan. Miguel, do you have anything to add about what the Albany roommate mixer will look like?
So our mixer will be somewhat similar, but a little different. We're having it in Freddy's. So being that it's kind of a free-for-all game space, we wanted to do some quick games as different stations. And we're gonna be asking those same questions about roommate preferences and having students rotate around to play different games. So you might be playing Connect 4 for 5 minutes with a different group. So you can interact with different groups and ask them questions and try to find your pairing. We're also going to try to have a computer present if you do want to finalize a match and go ahead and just make your pairing then and there. And I hope that doesn't scare all of you. This is how I personally have met some of my close roommates and friends in college. So if you're open to it, definitely join us and see who you can meet. You never know.
Yeah, thank you both. I hope you will all take advantage of that. It should be a good time, whether you're looking for a roommate or just looking to make some new friends. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about meal plans. So meal plans are required for all resident students. Meal plan options provide you with meal swipes and bonus dining dollars, which are also known as flex dollars, that can be spent like cash at all on-campus dining locations. Like I said, flex dollars are attached to your meal plan and can be spent like cash. They roll over from fall to spring on all accounts, but they are forfeited at the end of the full school year. But I'm going to talk a little bit about what the structure of the meal plans are. This is just some of the basic information. So we've changed some of our meal plans a little bit just because of some feedback we got on the current plans. But for students living on campus, they have 2 options. They are both priced at $3,680 per semester. So the ultimate plan will give you 19 meals a week and $200 in bonus dining dollars. And the around the block plan will give you 150 meals and $800 in bonus dining dollars. For our students living in University Heights or for Troy seniors or commuter students, we have a couple other options for them. We have the Suite 100 and the Suite 75. So the Suite 100 is 100 meal swipes and $250 in dining dollars, and that is $1,600 per semester. And then the Suite 75 is $1,400 per semester. It has 75 meal swipes and $100 in dining dollars. So like I said, these options are only for Troy seniors, UH residents, and commuter students, but we're happy to be offering more than just one suite plan this year. For any student on a meal plan, you can opt to be on an add-on plan as well. This adds an additional $100 per semester. These are priced at $100 per semester. So the 3 options we have for those have not changed from the past year. So we have the 105 additional declining balance. So that's 105 extra flex dollars for $100. Then you can also get the 3 gift packages during the semester. So those will be delivered basically at Halloween or Valentine's Day, a pizza party, and a final study break. And then we also have a Stash Your Pad food and beverage stock, which is an assortment of food and beverage necessities boxed up and ready for your residence hall room. So you can pick all, any, or none of these in addition to your basic meal plan. Some important information about meal plans. The plan that you select for the fall will automatically be applied to your account for the same, you'll automatically be enrolled in the same plan for the spring, but you can change this. All meal plan contracts become final after the first Friday of classes each semester. So if, say you get through the fall semester and you're like, you have a ton of extra dining dollars and you're like, oh, maybe I should get the plan with less dining dollars, you have until the first Friday of class to switch that. If you are looking to have your declining balance dollars roll over from fall to spring, you need to be sure that you are enrolled in an active meal plan for both semesters. The undergrad res halls are non-cooking facilities. There are kitchens, but they are not intended to be like full use kitchens. There are a lot of people that live in the building, so it's just unrealistic for people to be cooking every single meal in that one kitchen that's shared among, 30, 40 students. More information about meal plans can be found on Sodexo's website, or if you go onto the room reservation website, which I will link later, all of this information will be there as well. So I mentioned earlier a little bit about application housing. So we have 4 different options for that. We have gender affirming housing, pet friendly housing, honors housing, and multicultural housing. I'll let Morgan speak a little bit about the pet friendly housing if you don't mind, Morgan. But in the meantime, I will talk about honors and multicultural, and then we'll touch on gender affirming as well. So the honors housing is Wool House. You do not have to be an honors student to live there, but you do have to apply and show a dedication to academic success and it's essentially a very studious environment. There are 24-hour quiet hours in that building. So when selecting people to live in that house, we want to make sure that we're selecting people that will adhere to those ramifications set by the honors program. And then multicultural housing is in MSG. It was started by an RA a couple of years ago, just as a safe space for students to get to know each other, understand backgrounds of different people, and just have a safe space for everyone to come together. And Morgan's been working already with some folks that have applied for pet-friendly housing. So if you wouldn't mind talking about that a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So pet-friendly housing provides residents with the option of keeping a small pet on campus, which would include hamsters, gerbils, guinea pigs, rats, mice, rabbits, chinchillas, and cats, which are considered small pets. And these must be properly registered with and approved by the college before residing on campus. And these pets are allowed in Manning Hall, which is our co-ed upperclassmen hall on the Troy campus. So to register your animal, you must go through this application process that we have here. And there is a cost of $150 per semester that will be applied to your account for this housing. And there are some requirements as well. So if you have a cat, it must be up to date on some typical vaccinations. You must have a veterinarian on file so that if anything happens to your animal, you're able to provide it with care. And as well, your cat, if you do have a cat, must be spayed and neutered at the time of registration. So that's kind of a brief overview of what our pet-friendly housing application requires.
Perfect. Thanks, Morgan. And then gender affirming housing is very similar to multicultural housing, but it is a place where students can live regardless of how they identify. We really want to make it an inclusive environment for students that apply for this housing. Where this community is placed is dependent on how many people apply for it. So we aren't totally sure about the placement of that yet, but we will be sure to place that community in a building where the RA is also very supportive and just the entire community understands the importance of making sure everyone feels safe and included. So if you have any questions about those applications can be found by scanning the link or if you look back in your email, there are some direct links to each community to apply for each community linked in those emails. And if you can't find them, feel free to send Morgan or Miguel or I a message. So we will talk a little bit about lottery numbers now. So in order to receive a lottery number, current resident students must be sure that you've completed a few things. So you must have your FAFSA completed and on file with the Office of Financial Aid. You want to make sure that your emergency contact is up to date and that you have one. So that can be done through the self-service site. You must be fully registered for fall 2023. I recognize that registration is this week. So when some of you get your lottery number on Friday, it may say you are not registered, but you can simply reply to that. And, we have some time before the housing lottery actually starts. We do have some time for you to get registered. And so you can just reply to that email and say, hey, I was able to get registered, and we can remove that hold from your lottery number and make sure that you're activated. We also recognize that sometimes you're not able to get enrolled in a full 12 credits during registration because of wait lists and such. So if you just communicate with us, we can definitely make those exceptions and work with you to make sure that you can select a room, even if you're only in, 9 credits. And then finally, you have to have no holds on your student account. So that includes financial aid and student accounts holds. Lottery numbers are assigned by class standing. They're based on completed credits as of fall 2022. So I have the number of credits that you completed as of the end of last semester. Basically what I do is I put that in order. So the seniors that have 94 credits completed, the lottery numbers will be randomized within the number of students that have 94 credits completed. And then for first year students that have, maybe 12 or 15 student credits completed, the people with 15 credits completed would have a higher lottery number than the folks with 12 or lower. So how do we run all of this? So basically in 2020, Residence Life made a transition from an in-person room reservation process to an online service, which is called Res Life Portal. We will be continuing to use this product for this year's housing selection process. We've used it since 2020, and we have really great support from their system administrator. But this system has really streamlined our housing lottery process and provides students flexibility and a lot of independence in selecting your rooms, roommates, and meal plans. And I will walk you through what that looks like shortly. So these are some basic instructions about how to use the Res Life portal, which you will also get when your lottery number is activated. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how to create a resident group and kind of what that means. So if you want to live with a roommate, or if you want to live with 2 or 3 roommates, if you're looking for a triple or for University Heights, once you sign into the Res Life portal, you can use the create group button within a section labeled resident group to add other students to your group. You have to have their email, but this will alter your lottery number as you add students to your group. And it will change based on the lowest lottery number in the group. So whoever has the lowest lottery number, the whole group will then be able to select at that time. So having a resident group allows all group members to pick their room at that lowest lottery number, but all group members still need to select their own room. So like I was saying earlier, students will be given priority access in the selection process if they want to remain on the campus where they currently live. So all current Albany students will select rooms on the Albany campus before the Troy students may select in Albany, and vice versa. Current students do not have to select a campus of residence by academic program, so you can live on either campus. But when you create a resident group, it will only allow you to pick from a room of the campus of the person who created the group. So for example, if someone from Albany creates a group and adds a Troy student, because the Albany student made the group, they will lose, or because the Albany student made the group, the Troy student will then lose their ability to choose in Troy and only be able to pick in Albany. So this is kind of how you can, I guess, quote unquote, cheat the system. If you have friends that live in UH already that you want to live with, they can add you to their resident group, and then you would be able to move to Albany and select your room during the normal, during the first 2 days of the housing selection. Okay, so we do have a room reservation website, which I will show you in a minute, but it is, we do have a short link if you're interested in taking a look on your own. It has some virtual virtual tours of res halls, floor plans and more, and it will also have the recording from today. So this is what it looks like at this point. So we have our room reservation guide, we have the home. This is a session from a couple years ago, which will be updated with a new, with the recording from today. It has different sections that you can navigate through, all of the application housing, and then it will also walk you through the ResLife portal. It has a lot of information that we went over today. Over here where it says German, Manning, MSG, Wool, and UH, there are some virtual tours if you're not able to make it in person. But this is all of the information we went over today is also here. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what to expect when you use the ResLife portal. So if you go in to this sage.reslifecloud.com, you don't have access just yet, but you will when your lottery number is added to or when you get your lottery number on Friday, we'll send information about how to access this. So clicking on that link will bring you to this page right here. We have residents and students and staff and user accounts. So the system administrator has created a resident account for me, Morgan, and Miguel right now, so that we can show you how to run this. But typically we would go in over here because we are staff and our RAs would also sign in here. But for the purpose of this, you will be signing in under residents and students. So when you click on sign in, it will prompt you to select an account and sign in using your Google credentials. Or not. Hold on, I have another tab open. Please hold. Because I have two accounts, it sometimes gets a little iffy there. All right. So you'll sign in here, like I was just saying, sign in with your Sage credentials, and it will take you to a page that looks like this. So it does populate your picture from your Google profile if you have one set already. And then it will also bring up some other things like where you currently live, your email address, some other information that we have about you. And then it will also show some upcoming RA events. But for the purpose here, you're going to focus on this top left. So you're going to click Get Started to begin your room selection process. It will show you your lottery number. So it will say, for example, right now, in our test system, I am lottery number 1. It will give you an estimated time of when to expect your lottery number is activated. And it will be about a 20-minute time frame. But from this dashboard, you can add other students to resident groups, choose a building in a room, choose your meal plan. And then, like I said, all of the information about your resident group, that all group members must still select their own room. So if you go in here before your lottery number is activated, so sometimes it'll say current lottery number, for example, if I was lottery number 3, it would say current lottery number 1, and I would not be able to participate. And where it says room selection would be unable for me to click. But because it's activated and because I'm number 1, I am able to do that. But before this is activated, you can still go in and create a resident group and a meal plan, select your meal plan ahead of time. So if I wanted to select a meal plan, you can go in here, take a look at all of the ones that we have available for you. So say I wanted to pick the ultimate plan and add a gift package, add-on package. You can say save selection and it will populate over here. You do have the option to change this, but once you've selected a room and a meal plan, these will both be finalized. So you will be able to go back in, change, but you can also, so say I didn't want to do the add-on package, I can easily remove that and just do the ultimate. I don't know why it's saying uh-oh, but I guarantee you it won't say that during the time. So if you want to go in and create a resident group, this is how you would do that. So you can create a group by clicking here. And say I wanted to add Miguel to my resident group. I would just type in his email address, invite him to the group, and he would be automatically added. So because I have a higher lottery number, my lottery didn't change, but Miguel's lottery number probably did, and he would now be able to select at number 1. So back on the dashboard, it says it shows that I've selected a meal plan. It shows that I'm a member of a group, and we're going to go in and look at what our options are for housing. So because this system has me as a Albany campus resident, I only have the opportunity to select a room from Albany. If you live in Kellis, or if you're already a Troy resident, you will only have the opportunity to select a room from Troy. So obviously I don't want to live in Albany Campus Residence Hall. That is a first-year dorm, and it will not be available as an option, but I do want to live in University Heights. So essentially this is what it's going to look like when it pops up. So you can see there's a room 202, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms available in that suite. So for example, if I had a friend that, sorry about that. Oh, I just messed it up. Okay, so I'm gonna go change selected room, and that released what I just selected. I can go back to University Heights. I can see that these rooms are available. If a room is not available, it won't give you the opportunity to click on it. But I will click here if I want room 4. It will say, congratulations, room selection was successful. And from here, you can finalize your room selection. So you'll hit continue. You will take a look at all of this. This is essentially your housing contract. You'll acknowledge the room rate. You acknowledge the housing contract. You can type your name here, or you can do a digital signature. And then, so say I want to do my birthday. Oops, that's 96. And then I would finalize. So then you can review all of your selections, click on done, and it will say that your room selection process has been completed. And my room selection is University Heights room 202-4. So in Troy, it will give you the option to look through all of the buildings and see what rooms are available. In Albany, it's just that one page. So that is pretty much everything at this point. Like I said, if you want to check this out further, you can take a look at our room reservation website that I have linked here, bit.ly/RSC roomres, or these flyers are all over campus and you can scan that QR code. And that is just some contact information. You can always contact Morgan or Miguel as well, but residencelife@sage.edu is the best place to get any of us, and one of us will be able to get back to you after that. So I would love to open it up for questions at this point. If anyone has anything, if anyone needs to put anything in the chat, feel free. But Morgan and Miguel and I will stick around if if you have any questions. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Question number 1. Wow. For the FAFSA form, do we have to do one from the time we did it to get into the freshman dorms? I believe FAFSA, you have to redo it every year.
That is correct.
So you'll definitely have to revisit that one again, Shelby.
And you can definitely connect with the Office of Financial Aid and see what they need from your end. But yeah, that is something you do have to do every year.
Always write down your passwords. Every single year I reset my passwords, and that was not fun. Write them down.
Any other questions?
Is anyone looking to move to Albany? Like I see mostly Troy people in here. No?
All right, well, if there are no further questions, we are always happy to chat further if you need anything.